What impresses you about your group so far?
They're just competitive. They come to work every day. It's great leadership in the room. Guys want to get better, and they just get after it. So that's what I love about them.
You got some young guys there. How have the freshmen especially, Dallas and Mark, we get to talk to today, how have they developed so far?
Great. It's a day-by-day process for them, and they learn every day, and you see the growth from day one to now, and that's the great thing about it. They got some veteran mentorship in the room as well that they can lean on as well through these days, and, give them advice and tips, how to get through them and how to get through practice, and, just continue to grow. That's what it's about.
And those veteran mentors, Leonard and Christian, where have you seen their improvement since last year?
This is more vocal and just taking a bigger leadership role. You have the comfort of them out there all the time, but where they grew at is leadership. They know they got young guys behind them, and they work hard to make sure that those guys are ready to go as well, and getting their game with it as well.
What's the next step in both of their games in terms of elevating their play?
To me, just continue to do the little things, the details, everything. When you have success, it's about the little things, and that's what they're doing. Looking at formations, splits, everything, to just continue to help their technique and help them grow the knowledge of the game.
Which corner has surprised you the most with their growth since last season?
Say it one more time for me.
Which corner has surprised you the most with their growth since last season?
They're both different in both ways. They both had different stages as well, right? Leonard, forget that he's only a true sophomore, so he's continuing to learn his game as a sophomore, going second time around with it. And you can tell he's way more comfortable than last camp with it. This is Christian's third camp, so he knows it already. It's just him. It's about the details of everything that he wants to do to be the best that he can be.
And how do you keep these kind of corners confident when they're going up against veteran receivers in practice?
It's just that DMM mindset, they're not my man. They're going to compete. We're going to go against great receivers. That's the great thing about it. Our receivers are really good, and we get a chance to go compete every day, and that just helps both sides of the ball be better.
How would you just describe the identity of this entire room?
This competitive spirit, plus unit strength, right? They love each other. They're brotherhood in that room, but we have a healthy competition in that room, and the guys like to just, elevate each other in their game.
For a long time, you've been regarded as such a great evaluator of talent. You're able to see things apparently other people don't see in kids. What do you look for?
It starts with competitive spirit to me. Guys that want to go out there and compete. DB is one of those deals where you can be really, really great, or you can be really, really bad, and everybody sees it. So that's the beautiful thing about it, is you just want guys that are competitive and want to be the best and driven to be the best, and that's what we got in our room.
Marty, what have you seen in the development of special teams? Let's start with place kicking and kickoffs, because we haven't had a chance to see a lot of that. You have. How are things going in that competition?
I think they're going good. It's never as good as it is and never as bad as it is. It's still a work in progress. Those guys are still competing, so nothing's been settled there yet. But the good part is they're both pushing each other, really all three guys. And, we just ended with some game-winning type situations or scenarios, and we were able to be successful and convert on those. So we feel like, we're trending in the right direction.
Marcus talks about consistency at a number of positions. Is that exactly what you're looking for?
Yeah, it's huge, especially for a specialist. Oftentimes equate it to a professional golfer, where it's like you got to know that you're going to have one shot on the line, and it could be in the first quarter, it could be in the fourth quarter, and then just the process, like even Coach Free talks about to the whole team, but especially we use it a lot, is just reloading. And knowing that we can shake it off, and or if we make a big one, it can't be too high that it's on our mind for the next one. So really just trying to stay even keel throughout.
What have you worked with James on his technique for this year?
Yeah, a lot of it we worked on footwork, really just trying to make sure he's shortening his step pattern, and so when he stays short, he can get through the ball better and cleaner, and again be more consistent on that. We know he has a big leg, so really just trying to fine tune his step pattern as he approaches the ball.
Who's standing out to you the most in terms of leadership this fall camp?
Oh, I think, just overall, a guy that you always hear, whether he's on a special team or not, is Adon. He does a great job, especially, being in not as active necessarily on all the special teams roles, but he's always so energetic. Drake Bowen would be the same way. Just guys that, really have shared, even in some of our team meetings, their experience of how they progress from special teams to starter role. On the other side of the ball, Will Pauling has done a great job echoing the importance and kind of been an advocate over there. So there's others, but those are the ones that would come to mind.
And what special teams unit do you think would really be a game changer this season, if there is one?
I don't know that we try and put it on one particular unit as much as I would say each game plan can vary. And so then all we're trying to do is maximize in that opportunity.
Do you lobby for Jeremiah Love back there on punt return?
On punt return, he hasn't been working at punt return. On kick return, he's been back there. So that's one that we're excited to see how that competition shakes out, kind of between him and Price.
And what does he do well in, from your viewpoint?
Jay Love?
Yeah.
What doesn't he do well, or what does he do well?
Yeah.
No, he does a great job. I would say more than anything, the fact that, again, you see a guy who is, presumed a Heisman candidate starting on our punt team, which often goes overlooked. But when you have one of the best players in the country willing to go out and be a gunner on our punt team, it sets the standard for nobody. No job is too small for anybody on our team. He creates a standard of what we really want to be is really prideful in what we do on all our phases.
How close do you feel like you guys are in terms of settling the place kicking? And is that something you want done sooner than later, or does it not matter time?
I don't know. I wouldn't say that it doesn't matter. We'd always like for it to be clean. The sooner the better. There's sooner or later, but at the same time, it's not something we're going to rush. We're getting more as we get into block 4 and right after kind of block 4 through next week is where we're getting into more of our situational kicking as opposed to just kicking in bulk. This is more getting into game like, hey, could coach all of a sudden in the middle of a series could call a field goal. So we're trying to create game-like situations as opposed to early on in camp. It was more, hey, we're going to kick 5, 6, 7 in a row to try and get some more statistical numbers.
And how have the guys done in those situations? I know last year you guys kicked great in pressure situations, and how often do you simulate that now, would you say?
I would say starting at the last block and through this block, we're simulating an awful lot in terms of at least 1 to 2 times of practice. And so that's something that I credit our head coach to, because so many coaches would wave it off of, I don't want to waste all this time at transitioning for one play. But he sees how important that is, obviously, in critical moments. So we want everybody to have their same locked-in moment for their rep. And so that's what's so great about this place.
Where are you with punt return right now?
At punt return, we have Will Pauling, Jordan Faison have done a great job, Great House, Aeneas, and Dallas Golden. So this is we have a lot of options. I've been at some schools where I haven't had any, and this is exciting that we have a good amount. So we're still battling that, and that's something we'll try and solidify by the end of the week.
Sorry.
Last year, you guys had a lot of fun stuff up your sleeve, it seemed like. How are you kind of hoping to build on just like some of the new stuff you guys kind of implemented last year?
Yeah, again, research, looking ahead at other opponents, and then just really trying to present it to the players. I think what's really great here is we've gotten the buy-in since even before I was here. Credit to, Coach Mason and then here. So the foundation has kind of been set, so it's not out of the norm for players to knock on our door and be like, Coach, what are we doing? What are we cooking up? So that tells you that, okay, they really care about this third phase as opposed to, it's something they have to do. So that obviously then makes the sell for that week, or when you're putting something in, that much easier to convey across.
Adon, what have you seen in the defensive backfield this year in terms of improvement?
Yeah, just the brotherhood and the leadership. I feel like everybody's on the same page and kind of have the same common goals.
I know you're a guy that plays with confidence anyway, but how much greater is your confidence going into this year than it was last year?
I'll say the same. I feel like I'm here for a reason. Coach Mick and the coaches instill, great trust in us. So, just go out there and play your best.
What are your thoughts on the guys around you and the way they've kind of come through during camp?
Yeah, tremendous great competitors. Like everybody's in the room is competitive, and you know want to get better every day.
And then when you look at the team as a whole, the season you guys had last year, how much confidence does that give you guys going into this year, but also the motivation it provides that you guys were so close but didn't ultimately come away with the championship?
I mean, you know, being at Notre Dame, every game is like a Super Bowl, and you know everybody's going to give their best. So just kind of keeping the same mindset that we had, and just continuing to just elevate every day.
Not knowing how much you've worked on Miami but I know you looked at Carson Beck film last year getting ready for Georgia. What challenges does he present to this defense?
You know, he's a player that has been playing a lot of football, and you know he's going to be experienced, and you know we kind of just have to play our style of football, and you know kind of give him different looks and stuff that he hasn't seen before, and you know just since I said he's an experienced quarterback, you know just kind of play the game within the game.
And speaking of different looks, what kind of different looks has Chris Ash brought to the table for you guys?
You know he puts a lot of guys in different positions to make plays, and you know everybody on defense has kind of the same role but different roles, and they're going to do it at different times to kind of maximize everybody's playing. Yeah.
Is there like a new mindset for you going into a new year, or do you kind of just keep it the same?
Yeah, just keep it the same. You know, don't want to change anything up, but just just stay consistent and be the best person I can be every day.
And then what's been the most challenging part about just going to a new fall camp for you?
I'll just say just being consistent every day, and leading the guys, and kind of just being a vocal leader and a person that kind of gets the fire going. Yeah.
Feel from last year to now going into a new year for you?
I definitely say I feel more confident. And just feel more great in my technique and everything. So I feel like I just got stronger in every way. So yeah.
Why the number change?
So 6, if you look at all my recruiting visits, I always wanted to wear 6 since high school. And so I just had the chance. So I took the chance. I got to wear number 6. So I'm glad now.
What's special about 6 for you? I mean, you talked about that, but is there some symbolism there or something?
Oh, just 6 is, I feel like it represents fun, you know. Me just having fun with the game, having love for this game and everything. And plus it just reminds me of my grandma a little bit, you know. Me and my grandma, I always told her that my favorite number was 6, and I always wanted to talk to her about it, and she was always going to be like, hey, pick 6, you pick 6. So she always called me pick 6 a little bit when I was in high school, so just remind me of her.
So is that what we should be saying now?
Pick 6? Pick 6 a franchise. It's good. So yeah.
How much did you learn last year from the good and the bad?
I learned a lot. I learned a lot about my technique, but most importantly, I'll say I learned more about mental space too. Cause I found out after, the last game, of course, I just saw a real brotherhood, a real love that I found in the space. I thought I was gonna be alone, thought everybody was gonna walk away from me, and I thought the world was ending. And I just found out BMO was there, X was there, Lenny was there, everybody that was there for me. And I just found out that mental space is so important in this game of football, and especially in this life. So,
how much does getting close last year, but not all the way, motivate you guys right now?
It just motivates us strong. Like I say, every practice is always a game day for sure. Every practice is always a game. Everybody's going hard every time. Like we got something to prove. Like it definitely shows. And like that's what I love about this team. We just stay hungry. We work hard every day, and that's what it just motivates us every day. We see that. So yeah.
At cornerback, next play, next life has to be the way of life. How have you adopted that?
I definitely did adopt that. I definitely did. Started having success in that because in my headspace I started to think like, one catch won't kill you. It won't catch one. One catch won't destroy who you are, who God meant you to be. And so that's why I just really took from it. And then I especially gone to my church about it too. And my church always helped me about it too. They said, one play, one life. We say it in the Bible. The Holy Spirit filled. Something bad happens, God will fill that back up with the Holy Spirit. And so I just started thinking that in my head on the field and every time. And so I just adopted that in my headspace.
We'll wrap it up here.
Is there a certain wide receiver that makes you play better every day in practice?
I definitely will say probably Man, that's a hard question. I would definitely probably say it's between Faison and Malachi. I definitely will say that though.
Why?
Their technique, they're just route running and technique, and especially, Malachi's, over half, So Malachi got strong hands, Faison got quick feet, and he's just fast. Malachi, he just know how to run routes and everything. So I definitely would say, like, those both are just elite wide receivers, and so I feel like they make me better every day.
What has impressed you the most about your group here in fall camp?
During fall camp, I feel like it's the attention to detail, coming in every day and being focused about what we're doing out there in that field. I think that's impressed me the most, especially like being such a young group. Like the leaders at the top is these young guys, really could be considered young guys at the end of the day. So I feel like the resilience of the group has definitely impressed me.
You're still kind of a young guy too,
Sure.
but you're asked to be a mentor of
Yeah.
these guys. How have you adjusted to that?
I feel like it's definitely been something I've been called to do by Coach Mickens, like as well as like just obviously I'm in my second year, but the people under me and Christian they're all three freshmen, so we got to bring them up and bring them along. So I've been turned to a little bit of a coach out here sometimes.
When you get the kind of accolades you're getting this preseason, does that feel good? Do you ignore it? Do you dwell on it? I'm just curious.
I don't feel any type of way about it. All it tells me is that there's eyes on me now. Like there's expectations, and the expectations obviously get higher. But I have the same expectations for myself. So I'm not playing for awards or any of that. But if I keep doing what I'm doing and go out there and dominate, the awards will come with it.
What are your expectations for yourself this year?
I feel like I don't have like specific expectations, but obviously to go out there and do my best and be intentional about every single rep and be focused during every single game, and the results speak for themselves.
There's no teaching tool like playing in games, and obviously you got great opportunities last year. Where are some of the areas you feel like you're just definitely better than you were a year ago?
I feel like the game moves slower for me now. Like obviously you go out there as a young dude, sometimes you just try not to get beat over the top or not get beat across the face, but now I'm understanding what the offense is presenting towards me, and I feel like I'm playing fast because of that.
I read one of your dad's books over the summer. He's obviously a very confident person who doesn't really seem to back down from what he thinks is right. How much is your confidence in what you're able to do kind of early on here? Did you learn a lot of that from him?
I mean, yeah, he definitely speaks to me a lot. I mean, he's just like a naturally confident dude. So it's a little different from me. I feel like my confidence just came from coming out here and practice at the end of the day and just being consistent every day. So now I'm going into my second year with a little more confidence.
And you mentioned one of the things in the spring you really wanted to focus on was covering slants, not getting beat inside. How do you feel like you've progressed with that?
I mean, I feel like I definitely progressed. Our offense hasn't ran too many slants on me, I'm not going to lie. So, I mean, we'll see come season time.
Which of that has given you the best piece of advice, and if so, what's the best advice you've received?
From a vet?
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I always hold on to the advice that Ben Morrison gave me when he was here, and that he still gives me here when he's in the league now. I mean, when I was here, he told me, like, don't give myself any excuses at the end of the day. And now that he's in the league, he told me, like, he's not worried about necessarily starting, but he's just going out there every day and making sure he gets the most out of every single rep he does. So I feel like that's the best thing.
Now have you been practicing that advice?
I feel like coming in every day is every day is a new day. What I did yesterday, what I did last season, it doesn't matter. What I do on this field today is either going to get me better or get me worse. So I'm trying to get better each day.
What's it like for a Miami team with so many transfers at wide receiver, and you find yourself watching Liberty tape, FAU tape, etc.?
It's definitely different. They got transfer receiver, they got transfer quarterback, whole new offense coming in this year. So it's hard, like, because you're not seeing them in Miami jersey, but I feel like you just got to understand who you're guarding, and I feel like that'll set you free at the end of the day.
I know you said you're not concerned with accolades, but when a guy like Jeremiah Smith talks about how well you covered him last year and how impressed he was with you, when other receivers talk about you, what does that mean to you?
I mean, it's just a sign of respect at the end of the day. The same respect I have for every receiver I go against. I feel like I respect a good receiver, and a good receiver respect a good DB, so I feel like that's all it is.
Dallas, I assume in high school, I mean, it was probably almost easy for you. And now you come out here and there are challenges every day. What has the adjustment been like to playing here?
It's definitely been a tough adjustment, just being on the field with everybody, everybody's a dog, so going against the best every single day. We always gonna compete, we all getting better every single day.
Coach Mickens talked about the mentors you have at your position, guys like Christian and Leonard. What have you been able to learn from them?
I learned a lot, just like the small details, like, just how to get the ball out of someone, technique, stuff like that. They help me get better every single day.
Did you know that there was so much technique? Did you have an idea that there was so much to learn about your position when you came here?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't. Because in high school, I was, all offense. When I got here, just the small things I had to clean up. They really helped me with those details.
Do you miss offense?
I mean, a little bit, a little bit I do. Because that's what I've been doing since my 9th grade year in high school. So.
I talked to you just before you arrived here, and you still weren't totally sure what position you're going to play. How did that kind of conversation come about to put you on the defensive side?
Been recruiting me. I'm a natural, corner, DB. We're gonna start there first. Get better at my position. Learning every day, getting better at it.
We saw you from the first day of camp. You were running with the twos right away. What do you think you showed over the summer that kind of got you those early opportunities to be out there with a bunch of older guys?
I mean, I don't really think I showed anything. We all been rotating with the twos. Everybody's still learning. We're all still learning. We got, like I said earlier, we got great mentors. Helping us out. Get better at the position.
What's a few parts of your games you want fans to notice right away?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, I have a low voice. What's one part or a few parts of your game you want fans to notice right away this season?
Really, I'm a football player. I'm willing to do whatever for the team. Any position I can be, I'm gonna help out. So.
Anything else? How has punt return developed for you? We saw you catching some punts on the first day here. Are they still having you catch punts, and how are they adjusting to special teams?
It's fun. It's a blessing. That's something I've been dreaming of since I was a kid. Just being able to be back there at a high level, catching punts with. I got also great mentors back there. Like Great House, Faison, Will Paulin. Also with that, they've been helping me with like the small details of catching the ball, how to throw the ball. Just get me better at catching punts. It's also been a blessing. So.
And how do you visualize your first college game? In Miami. Hard Rock Stadium, big stadium, a lot of people. What goes through your head when you think about it?
I mean, I'm in my state, so I'm excited.
You talk about the mentors, Christian Gray, Leonard Moore, but how have they really helped you just chemistry-wise, I guess? What's the chemistry been like with you guys?
As soon as I came in here, they kind of took me under their wing, with meeting people, watching film after practice, just everything really, just, get me better at my position, the small details of how to watch film, every aspect of football you can think of. So,
just settle on one sport here as opposed to the way it was at Ben Davis.
Yes, sir.
What have you learned about playing cornerback since you got here?
It's been a difference. All my senior year, I kind of played safety. So just coming in, just relearning the cornerback position from these guys like Christian, Leonard, Smitty, Stroman. Even the safety's been helping me out. Just learning as much as possible. Just knowing that it's a faster game. Learning more down to distance stuff like concepts, things like that. I feel like I'm learning more about the real side of football and situational stuff. That's been my main thing right now.
How much of a shock is that? Because when you were at Ben Davis, you were the guy, and now you come here and you're kind of low man on the totem pole, and you're surrounded by guys with tremendous talent.
Yeah, I would kind of expected that. My dad kind of implemented that in my head when he played in college football at Ball State. He was like, I was the guy at Ben Davis too, but when I went into college, you start at the bottom. So I really expected that, and just trying to build my way up every day, just trying to compete and just keeping to build up every day.
Is there a certain offensive player that's really been challenging you this offseason, or do you want to credit anyone?
I feel like coming in as a freshman, Elijah Burris has been challenging me a lot. I feel like we go head-to-head every day. I'm just trying to keep getting each other better. So I feel like that would be my guy, that we keep going like every night, whatever the case may be, during practice, just keep battling every day, and then coming in, getting extra reps with him. I feel like we can feed off of each other going forward.
What's it like to play for Coach Mickens? How demanding is it?
Man, it's crazy. Just knowing he was recruiting me since my freshman year, and now I'm a freshman here. It's been a journey with him. Just knowing that he's one of the best, if not the best coach in the country, just developing guys like Leonard, Xavier, Ben. So just growing that relationship with him as we're going through this kind of feels like father-son, but just him giving me all the help I need and whatever I need, and going through the details and breaking down my film, it's just going to keep going up and up. So I'm appreciative of him.
Are you still learning both corner positions, or are you kind of focusing more on one?
Yeah, I'm still learning both. I'm just trying to learn from Christian and Leonard, watching both positions, just because tempo, anything could happen, late game, anything could happen. So just knowing both. So I'm just trying to learn both still.
And have they put you at nickel much? Is that something you're interested in doing?
I mean, if they needed to put me in nickel, I would play nickel just because it's about the team glory here. So I have no problem with that. But right now, I'm just focused more on both corner positions.
You talk about your dad, playing football as well. How much has he really helped with this process for you?
Yeah, it's been crazy. All my family has, but he's been the main guy. I've been trying to connect with him as much as I can. Just because he's been through this process, he's done the fall camp. He said it's way harder when he had to do it. So he was talking about 3 days, and I was like, whoa. But he's helped me a lot through this process. Getting to call him every few days just to keep tracking what my recruitment process was and when I'm getting here and helping me out.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thanks. Is there a part of your game that's going to surprise fans this season, or do you want them to know anything?
This is ready for me to be out there. I'm just kind of excited to be a part of this team, whatever aspect it is, whether it's punt block, field goal block, kickoff, whatever they need me to do. When I'm out there, I just want them to know I'm a great player, a great teammate, and I just want to build my name up going through Notre Dame's process.
Last question. What's your confidence level like? Because it would be easy to get shaken going up every day against these guys. Mm-hmm. How do you stay confident? Where does that confidence come from?
I feel like the confidence comes from just Leonard, kind of being out there last year. He was kind of in the same position, like coming in as a freshman, not really knowing what his position was going to be, but just gradually getting better every day, meeting with Coach Mickens as much as possible, meeting with the older guys like Ben as much as possible. So I feel like my confidence is still, trying to get as much as possible, just gradually going upwards, going throughout the season, but just learning from the older guys and talking to Coach Mickens as much as possible. I feel like it'll help me out.
James, now that you've been through this for a year, can you put into words how does it feel different at all? Where's your comfort level? Has it changed from a year ago?
Yeah, 100%. Definitely feel a lot more comfortable this time around. Last year I sort of just got off the plane and was straight into it down at Texas A&M. So definitely having all the experiences that we did last year as well in the playoffs, national championship, there's nothing I haven't seen before. So definitely a little bit more comfortable this time around. I've been living in America for well over a year now, so away from football, my life's more settled down and a lot more acclimated. And in terms of football, I've just had way more reps, and with the reps I've been able to build more consistency with my technique and also being able to work out where I need to focus my attention when I go out and execute. So yeah, definitely in a better position this time around.
Where have you focused that attention in terms of building consistency?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's just punting is like golf. It's a lot about form and technique, and over the course of the off season, I did a lot of work on that. And you just really got to emphasise the process and not the outcome. And when you get the technique right, the outcome looks after itself.
Where has Coach Biagi made adjustments with your technique?
Yeah, Coach Biagi's great. Obviously, he's had the experience of being a punter and a kicker. He had his college career at Marshall. So, after every practice or game, I'm up in there watching the film with Coach Biagi, and he really just empowers me to take ownership as well. And at times I don't always need him to have a look at what I'm doing because I'm aware of the teachings that he's given me in the past, and I can sort of learn on my own and I can rectify things if I need to on the go. But yeah, he's been great. He's been so supportive of me all the way through.
You didn't have a touchback last year, and that average was among the best in college football. How much pride do you take in those kind of stats?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the stats are the stats, but I'm just trying to go out there and execute my job to the best of my ability for the team. They've all got my back. I've got to go out there and have their backs when my number's called. And yeah, I take a lot of pride in being able to do my job to the best of my ability.
What's it been like adjusting to life in America and American culture? Be honest, what do you enjoy and what do you kind of miss about home?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you miss your friends and family the most, but that's the whole point. You need to reach your full potential in life. You've got to push yourself outside your comfort zone. And I'm so blessed and grateful, and I remind myself that every day that I've got the opportunity to come across here, the other side of the world, play a sport that I've never played growing up. and I wake up every day with a lot of purpose because I'm in the pursuit of something meaningful. And I think as long as I got that purpose and that drive, I'm going to be happy no matter where I am in the world. But I love America. I've really been able to immerse myself in the culture, and I'm just taking it day by day and being grateful for the present moment.
Does anybody on the team do a James Rendell imitation?
Yeah, my nickname is Punter because apparently that's how I say it. So I have to deal with that every single day. Some of the guys have gotten better at the Australian accents, but for a lot of them it's still a work in progress. But I've just learned to embrace that and just have a laugh with the guys. It's good fun.
Who does the best one?
Coach Freeman's not bad at it. He's getting pretty good at it. A few of the guys on the O-line are pretty good. They're always good characters. So it's just a blessing to be a part of this brotherhood. I get along well with everyone. Very grateful to be here. What's it like to look at life upside down?
Definitely a fun challenge. I enjoy it. So that's long snapping, I guess.
How long have you been working on this skill? How long has this been a dream of yours to get to a college football team this way?
So I probably started around my sophomore year, or end of my sophomore year of high school. So been doing this for probably 3 or 4 years now. It just kind of took step by step until I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. And I found out I could play at a place like this. So that opportunity came about, and been thankful for that ever since.
What made you want to try it? Because it's not something that most people say, hey, let me do this.
So actually, I had a family friend, one of my dad's old coaches had a son who played in college doing this. So he told my dad I should try it, and then from there on out, I just kind of kept drilling it, kept working it, and ended up finding my way, with this skill.
Do you feel like people underestimate how much pressure it is for a long snapper?
I'd say, it's a simple job, but it's certainly not easy. So with that mentality, I got to do my job as best as I can.
And do you have any rituals before a snap for game routines?
Nothing really crazy. Just some stuff on the sideline, throwing a ball around, and then a couple deep breaths, and that's really about it. I don't do anything too crazy.
Simple guy.
Yep.
What is your thought process when you go out there? What are you conscious of?
I'm pretty much very conscious of, once I'm actually out there and set up, just focusing on my cue when to snap the ball. I really just try and keep my attention there and on my body, and, trying to stay in the present as much as I possibly can, stay out of my mind.
And it's a culture shock for any freshman to go to college. Of course, you have a freshman student athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Worse yet, one surrounded by the kind of talent you are here.
Yep.
What's that adjustment been like?
Yeah, you definitely see some stuff at practice where you're like, oof, I'm not in high school anymore. I've been here for a good bit now, so you just see some stuff that I would say is absolutely insane. Definitely a different type of athleticism that I would say you don't normally see every day.
What's been the most eye-opening thing you've seen?
Oof. I remember my first spring here, Ben Morrison had an one-hand interception on the sideline. That was pretty remarkable. There's just stuff like that you see every day out here on the practice field. So, any of these guys, I'm sure if you look at the film, have clips like that.